Over in the pages of Marvel Comics' main Spider-Man series, the publisher is exploring a storyline influenced by the alternate dimension of Limbo. The head of the Limbo embassy, known as Madeline Pryor, summoned this character of REPO in order to collect Spider-Man's funhouse mirror reflection called Rek-Rap, as well as Peter Parker himself. My name is Erick, and today, let's go ahead and preview The Amazing Spider-Man issue 38 to see if this storyline can maintain the momentum and create some fascinating story scenarios over for Rek-Rap and REPO. Before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button over on our video. Gang War First Strike. Can Spider-Man and Rek-Rap both survive the repulsive REPO, the last issue before Gang War? Amazing Spider-Man 38 is written by Zeb Wells, featuring art from Ed McGuinness. We have inks from Mark Farmer, Wade von Grawbadger, and Ed McGuinness. Colors coming in over from Marcio Menyz. We have a special guest artist with Emilio Laiso, some special guest colors from Erick Arciniega, letters from VC's Joe Caramagna, and the main cover for this issue is illustrated from Ed McGuinness and Marcio Menyz. On this page, I found it so striking to see Spider-Man hanging in from the side of the panel. Also, this really short panel introducing the series, showing Spider-Man getting eaten up over from REPO is just absolutely harrowing and a great way to foreshadow all of the quirky scenarios that we get to see within this particular installment here. One of the highlights of this first aspect of the issue is getting to see Rek-Rap within all these different contexts. The way that Rek-Rap's personality is just so abrasive and so irreverent naturally creates all these really amazing humor scenarios. I think Rek-Rap's storytime adventure, where we get to see some of the politics behind this series captured from the perspective of Rek-Rap himself, really creates so many interesting story scenarios over for Zeb Wells here. I also love the fact that, just like so many of Zeb Wells' previous stories, this character of REPO has a connection to Spider-Man in a past comic book issue too. I always find the attention to detail in terms of the continuity and editorial for The Amazing Spider-Man to just be absolutely wonderful, and I think this is just a great example of how dynamic this series can be in certain moments. Also, seeing a direct confrontation over between Madeline Pryor and Rek-Rap himself was another really cathartic moment within this comic book title. Really enjoyed seeing their just really irreverent conversation and personalities shine through within these sequences. The Amazing Spider-Man dramatically shifts gears. In the second sequence, illustrated by Emilio Laiso, I feel like we get less of the irreverent line than we see in this first half of the narrative exploring the Limbo elements. However, I really thought Zeb Wells did a fantastic job crafting these individual pieces of this particular issue and getting ready for the incredibly momentous gang war. I thought this sequence did a fantastic job pulling on some recent plot threads over in terms of The Amazing Spider-Man. One of the most important elements of this story so far seems to be Randy Robertson and Janice Lincoln. I really think it's commendable with just how slowly Randy Robertson was implemented within the Limbo narrative. We also get to see Randy get tied up over in some of these elements of the gang war within the second half of the issue. The way that Zeb Wells has plotted out and laid out this narrative has really been transformative and just does a great job opening up some of the internal themes with The Amazing Spider-Man in a really cohesive and organic way. Thankfully, too, I think some of that quirky energy is really present within the second half of the issue. We get to see so many fun sequences with characters like Hammerhead, as well as people like Silvermane within the title, too. I think this series is naturally pulling on some of the plot threads from these superior foes of Spider-Man, with all these elements of bravado from these gangsters alongside these unexpected elements of humor. I can already tell that Zeb Wells has a really strong handle on some of the internal gang politics within these individual characters, and I think we're in for something really special here when the gang war breaks out. Overall, I thought Amazing Spider-Man 38 just did a wonderful job capturing the hellish dimension of Limbo, as well as some of the harrowing conversation between the various gang lords of the Marvel Universe to set up the gang war. at the end of the day here, I think this was an incredibly solid chapter of the series here. I really hope moving forward that Zeb Wells will continue to explore those dark fantasy elements and also bring back even more characters within Limbo. I really love the mysterious character that showed up towards the end of this issue. I hope there's going to be even more reveals, and I would even love to see even more Limbo connections within these two storylines here, too. I want to know from you. Did you enjoy the Amazing Spider Man 38 as much as I did? What do you think about this relatively new villain of Repo the Repossessor? And are you as interested with every single move that Rek-Rap makes as I am? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to check out our video review on Amazing Spider-Man issue 38, and we'll be back to see where this series is headed in the near future. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.